He was drafted 3 months after his 18th birthday in November 1944 and sent to Europe as a replacement, one of the men shipped in to fill the holes left by the Battle of the Bulge. Half the replacements in his group were dead within 3 days of arriving. Anthony Benedetto from Astoria, Queens, spent that winter in frozen foxholes with the 63rd Infantry while German 88s came down on them. He called it a front row seat in hell. In March, his division went at the Siegfried Line and it took 5 days to get through. Then they fought east across Germany, Worms, Mannheim, Heidelberg, and at the end of April they reached a place near Landsberg and opened the gates of Kaufering, the largest of the sub-camps feeding Dachau. He came out of it a pacifist and stayed one for the next 78 years. His line about it was that anyone who thinks war is romantic has clearly never been in one. The war ended. He stayed on with the occupation force in Mannheim, and one day an officer walked past the showers, heard him singing, and told him a band was being formed. That's how it started. He made corporal. Then came Thanksgiving 1945. He ran into Frank Smith, an old friend from school back in New York, also stationed in Mannheim, and they sat down to eat together. The army was still segregated. A white corporal and a black soldier having Thanksgiving dinner at the same table was not permitted. An officer found them. By Bennett's own account, the man cut the corporal's stripes off his uniform and spat on them. He was busted to private and reassigned to the Graves Registration Service. That meant exhuming the American dead and preparing them for identification, and he did it for a week. His description of the assignment, decades later, was 4 words of pure Queens. It was a wonderful job. I had to dig up bodies. A colonel heard what had happened and pulled him out and put him in an orchestra. But he was a private now, so he couldn't perform under his own name. He picked one out of the air, Joe Barry, and started singing. 4 years later, Bob Hope caught his act and gave him a better one. In March 1965, he flew to Alabama and walked from Selma to Montgomery with Martin Luther King. He never made much of it. He'd been asked once already, in a mess hall in Germany, to choose between his stripes and his friend. He'd answered the question 20 years earlier.